Hey guys, Erica here at Circle Furniture. We want to talk to you a little bit more about houseplants. So there's two key factors when caring for your houseplants. It's all about water and light. So here in our Cambridge store we have these big, bright, beautiful windows and we get a lot of direct sun. And that might not be true in your home, but there still may be a great houseplant for you. We wanted to find out which plants thrive in direct light, low light, and indirect light. So we went to one of our favorite plant shops in Cambridge to ask them a few more questions.
So many houseplants have different needs. When considering a houseplant, it's important to consider the environment, and one of the major criteria here is light exposure or brightness. There's sort of some main categories that light falls into when talking about houseplants. Direct sun, which could also be considered bright light. Indirect light, which tends to be a lower light, softer light, a little more even exposure throughout the day, and low light. Many plants have a range that allows them to fit in more than one of these categories. One of the biggest requests that we get, because our stores are located in the city, is for low light plants. One of the best plants you can choose for lower light is the snake plant. It's virtually indestructible. A dwarf variety of the Sansevieria, this is called bird's nest. It only gets about 8 inches high, so this is great if you don't have a ton of light in your office. This is something that won't take up much space, also doesn't require a ton of care. Indirect light is sort of the middle ground between bright light and low light. It's diffuse, it tends to be more even, softer light. So some plants that do well in indirect light, they tend to be plants that prefer moist soils. They tend to be more brightly colored and patterned. So these calatheas, for example, are indirect light loving plants. So they aren't necessarily low light plants, but if you were to put this in a hot sunny window, it would not be happy, regardless of how much you kept it watered. Plants that tend to want more moist soils do better in indirect light as they can hold on to that water longer. We're going to move on to bright sunny spaces. The most obvious plant is the cactus. These guys do like really bright light and minimal watering. So one of the things we like to tell people when they're coming in to purchase plants is to consider where these plants are indigenous to. What type of environment do they thrive in naturally? And the reason that cactus do well in bright sunny spaces in your home is because they tend to grow in areas that are bright and sunny and dry in their natural habitats. So that will guide you in making decisions on their placement and their care. The amount of water that you give a plant is directly related to how much light it's getting. Even cactus, when they're put into a hot sunny window, because it's very directional light, that can still be too much. So some things you want to consider are plant rotation, and just to check for the shriveling of the plant skin. That's an indication that it is actually a little too dry and that you'll want to give it a nice solid watering. So as you can see, there are many different types of houseplants, many different kinds of light tolerances. It's important for you to consider where you're going to be putting this plant, the type of light exposure it's going to be getting, and we'll help you choose a plant that works for that.
Thanks for watching. We hope you found this information helpful. Do you want to see more about houseplants? Check out our houseplant series. If you want to see more videos on interior design tips, please click subscribe. And if there's a particular topic that you have a question on, please comment below.